Germany is no longer the country with the most asylum applications in the European Union, according to new data released by the European Union Agency for Asylum. By the end of June 2025, France and Spain both received more applications than Germany, which has been the main destination for asylum seekers in recent years. There was a significant dip in applications lodged by Syrian citizens, with 25,000 fewer than the first 6 months of the previous year, due to the fall of the al-Assad regime in Syria last December. Venezuela is now the main country of origin of asylum seekers. The increase is likely related to stricter immigration policy in the United States. Since Donald Trump retook office as U.S. president, he started a crackdown against Venezuelan migrants coming to the U.S. By contrast, Venezuelans can land in Europe without a visa and stay for a maximum of 90 days in the Schengen area with their passports alone. Norwegians headed to the polls on Monday in a parliamentary election in which the future of a wealth tax introduced over 130 years ago is a central issue. A close outcome is expected between a center-left bloc led by the Labour Party of Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre and a right-wing bloc. Labour wants to keep the wealth tax, which applies a levy of 1.1% on assets and shares worth more than 1.76 million kroner. Labour says that scrapping it would cost 34 billion kroner per year. Of its rivals on the right, the Conservatives want it reduced, and the Progress Party of Sylvi Listhaug, which calls for lower taxes and more immigration controls, wants it scrapped. The Progress Party is expected to outperform the Conservatives, who are led by former Prime Minister Erna Solberg. Official results are expected to be announced on Tuesday, and they are likely to be followed by weeks of negotiations to build a coalition and agree on cabinet positions before King Harald can swear in the new government.
South Korea will repatriate 300 of its citizens this week after they were detained in a massive immigration raid at the Hyundai plant in Georgia. U.S. immigration agents arrested 475 people at the site last week, most of whom were South Korean.
우리로서는 어느 정도 수위를 조절할 수밖에 없었던 것이 우리 지금 억류되어 있는 우리 국민 300여 명을 조속히 구출하는 것이 더 큰 일이었기 때문에 그랬습니다.
Videos released since the raid show workers being handcuffed and ankle-cuffed, rounded up and put on buses. The U.S. officials said the arrested workers were suspected of living and working in the country illegally. It is, however, unclear what type of visa those arrested had or whether any of them overstayed it. Over the weekend, Seoul and Washington reached an agreement over the repatriation of the detainees. The South Korean Foreign Ministry said it did not want its citizens to be deported, but to leave the country voluntarily, meaning that they could potentially re-enter the U.S. at a later date.
A wanted criminal on the run with his 3 children in New Zealand for nearly 4 years was shot and killed in a confrontation with police on Monday, according to law enforcement. Tom Phillips and his children had gone missing in December 2021, disappearing into the remote countryside as investigators scoured the densely forested area where they believed the 4 of them were hiding. One child was with Phillips at the time of the confrontation, and the other 2 were found in the forest hours after the shootout.
We've come across them in the area that we were identified as being a probable location in which we could find them, and we've had communication with them, and we've safely engaged with them, and they're now with our police officers.
A police officer was shot in the head and critically injured and was undergoing surgery at a hospital. The case has fascinated New Zealanders for years, with police making regular unsuccessful appeals for information. Phillips did not have legal custody rights for his children, and authorities said they had not had access to formal education or healthcare since their disappearance.
Microalgae grown on dairy effluents can cut the use of mineral fertilizers by 25% and could help reduce Europe's dependence on Russian imports. In Saint-Laurent-de-le-Pré, western France, This biofertilizer was tested on several wheat plots and compared with mineral fertilizers and other organic products.
Les résultats, c'est qu'en fait, avec la poudre d'algues, on a des rendements qui sont comme les boues d'épuration. C'est-à-dire que c'est bien, c'est mieux que si on mettait rien, mais c'est pas aussi bon que les fertilisants minéraux si on met que ça. Là où on a eu des rendements intéressants, c'est quand on mélangeait du minéral avec de la poudre d'algues. Parce que là, on avait les mêmes rendements que si on avait mis que du minéral, mais ça nous a quand même permis d'éliminer un quart des fertilisants minéraux.
This product has been developed within Walnut, a European project aimed at cutting pollution and closing the loop between food and waste by recovering vital nutrients for agriculture from urban, industrial and other types of wastewater.
On a une usine agroalimentaire dont les effluents vont être mis dans des cylindres. Et dans ces cylindres, on va cultiver des algues unicellulaires qui vont se nourrir de la matière organique de l'effluent. Et donc la matière organique va être convertie en biomasse végétale. Et c'est cette biomasse végétale qu'on va prendre, qu'on va déshydrater et qu'on va ensuite épandre dans les champs. Et comme cette biomasse est riche en azote, elle va avoir un rôle de fertilisant.
Unlike mineral fertilizers, which release nitrogen instantly and are easy to dose, algae powder works more slowly and requires planning from farmers. More research is still needed to optimize it, yet it could help Europe reduce reliance on imports, cut environmental impacts and build resilience into its food systems.
I don't know how to cook. Just open the door, put it inside, and then close the door. You see the camera here this is garlic butter shrimp. Just put here and one more button, start cooking.
I speak Chinese, I speak English, I speak a little bit German, but not much. And I cannot understand everybody, right? But with this class, I will be able to talk to everybody, talk to also the local people, for many, many different companies as well.
Longevity and, of course, AI, sustainability are the topics that are coming up more and more. And that leads to the fact that we had to adapt these trends early in advance. And that is also the change, that we are more flexible and looking what will be important in the future. And therefore, our claim this year is imagine the future. It must be a cultural moment, an event that is visible in the whole city of Berlin. And not only during the show, also during the whole year. So there had to be spots that are focusing on this big event. And therefore we are adding a lot of cultural things like the Sommergarten and big stages for diverse entertainment. That is important for IFA as well.
How sweet is the EU honey market? The EU is one of the largest honey markets in the world. According to CBI, a Dutch government organization, EU honey production in 2022 reached over 285,000 tons, with Romania, Spain, Hungary, Germany, Italy, Greece, France and Poland the biggest producers. Along with China and the US, Europe is also the largest global consumer of honey, accounting for an estimated 20% share of total worldwide consumption. Europeans have been reported to consume honey on a weekly basis. In countries like Slovenia and Greece, honey is even consumed on a daily basis. Europe's honey market can only satisfy 60% of demand from its own production. In 2022, European honey imports reached 363,000 tons and were valued at over 1.2 billion euros. According to FAO statistics, 10 of the world's top 20 importing countries are from the EU: Germany, Poland, Belgium, Spain, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Portugal, Greece and Austria.
welcome and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I'm very honored.
But cinema moves beyond the screen. It's a reflection of who we are and who we're becoming.
The 82nd Venice Film Festival came to a close on Saturday with Jim Jarmusch's father, mother, sister, brother walking away with the top award, the Golden Lion for Best Film. The drama starring Kate Blanchett follows 3 stories set in different countries. The movie zooms in on the relationships between adult children, their parents and each other. The favorite Kauthar Ben Hania's powerful Gaza set drama The Voice of Hind Rajab won the second place Silver Lion. The film received a historic 21-minute standing ovation and its director dedicated the award to rescuers in Gaza.